straight to the playlist. Hi everybody, it's Ebony JB and I'm back with another video. And in this video today, we're going to be reacting to and reviewing that Boldy James, The Price of Tea in China. Now it's about time. I listened to the Versace tape and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was like, I love this guy. I'm a fan of this guy. He's the perfect fit for Griselda. So now I'm very much excited to hear The Price of Tea in China because it is the album everyone has been saying is album of the year in terms of hip hop and rap. So it's like I'm excited. I'm excited for that Alchemist production. I'm excited for Boldy James. I'm excited for Benny the Butcher feature, Freddie Gibbs feature. I'm just excited. Before we get into it, I just want to do a quick reminder of JB's radar. If you are creative, an aspiring creative, whether that be in production, singing, songwriting, art, any kind of artistry, you could be a graphic designer, anything like that, if you want your work showcased and you feel like you've got talent, you want to show the world, send your work to jbsradar@gmail.com. I have a monthly episode where I promote these creatives and I talk about two creatives that I think are really talented, and I talk about them in an episode on my platform. So if you want to get spoken about on my platform, email your work to jbsradar@gmail.com. And if you're willing to pay a small fee, then before you know it, you'll be on my channel and I'll be talking about your work. Right. Let's get into The Price of Tea in China.
Teardrops and closed casts.
Wait, I'm sorry. I gotta take it back. I gotta take it back. I'm not quite ready. Oh my gosh.
Why are those people crying? Watch out for the double cross. Is it awesome? Teardrops and closed casts. Why are those people crying? Let's get it.
This sample is
I used
crazy.
to get confused, choosing my battles wisely. I had to pick and choose. My friends came in with a nigga for 1036s. All he wanted to do was spoil and spread the rock around. Build my foundation on solid ground. Always in a Moschino dripping. Wishful thinking with the bag, we get them kilos missing. Grew up in a hellhole, that's when niggas get hit for shit that they brother did. Fuck a gig. My niggas out here gritting it up the street. All the fuss about it's either cut me in or cut it out. Ain't grew up with no silver spoon, we had to thug it out. I hit a half a slab in my room. On your phone, God bless the child who hold us on. That shit hit close to home. When everything you ever loved, you lost to the good.
Carruth was insanity. It was such a humbling start. It was like, usually a lot of starts to albums are all like the artist comes guns blazing, comes like full of so much energy to really get the listener hyped for the album. But this is such a humbling start because it's like he's just talking about, it sounds a bit like an anecdote. It's got this kind of like anecdote style to it where he's just talking about his life, his experiences, important experiences, what he learned from what he's lived, what he's seen, and what he's learned from what he's seen. Things like the verses like where he was saying we didn't have no silver spoon, we had to thug it out. All these kind of things. He's talking about the roughness of the life that he had, how he sees the world now, and it's a great kind of anecdotal start to the album. And we've got that really somber sample going, why are the people crying? And it's just like that. It makes it sound sad. It makes it sound reflective as well, because this sample is literally saying like, why are the people crying? Is looking at the people like, what's going on? Why are people sad? Why are people depressed? And I just want to add here that it's like Boldy's answering that question because he's talking about all the hardships of life. Like, this is the reason why people are crying, depressed, out here, sad and emotional in these streets, because these streets they go for anyone, they come for anyone. It's a hard life. That tone that the sample is singing, the person in the sample is singing, they sound sad, they sound dreary, matched with like his kind of depressing anecdote of his life and all the hardships of life and what he's come to notice and learn about it, it was the most like subtle but intense start.
That's thin off a crack, still call it finger lad where them young niggas got a couple hot.
Okay, straight to the playlist.
700, that's the easy boost, 350 stashed in Adidas bag. Had to find a whole nother route, mapping out a whole nother town. Slapping on the no when the sever ties. He killed my older cousin Rick, so me and his beat never died. That still drum on the skate, range. Let that chopper ride. When them doors swing, that's a giant slide. Nigga reaching for must be trying to die. Now they snitching on James to the homicide.
Wait, no.
When them doors swing, that's a giant slide. Nigga reaching for my chain must be trying to die.
You're reaching for my chain? You must be trying to die. You must be trying to get yourself killed. You better move your... No, that is... I love Boldy's... I just love his tone.
Giant slide.
Stop.
Giant slide.
What?
Be James, Yola gang, Bonnie Clyde, wanted about a homicide. Only time my mama lied with Copper when they caught up with him, he got put to sleep. Cold game in these streets, kept it by my side. Now I cross my T's and I dot my I's.
There's like a tweeting bird effect in this production, which makes you think like it's very early morning, which is funny because, you know, the early morning, like that 5 a.m. crack of dawn time of the day is like a refreshing, rejuvenating, positive time of the day. It's a new start, it's a restart. You don't really look at that part of the day as thuggish or like dangerous. You look at that part of the day as like, you know, that's the 9 to 5. Mommy's taking the children to school, time, new day, new start. That's the kind of way you look at that day, that part of the day. But with this like thuggish, like he's put the birds tweeting, so like I feel like the vibe is, it's like the early morning hustle. It's like, actually, you're waking up at the crack of dawn, it's 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and you're already in the streets. And that is the environment you're in. You're there with the birds, they're tweeting away, and you're with the strap. That's it. That's the vibe of this track, which is crazy. It made a really positive, bright part of the day the perfect atmosphere for a gangster. It's like, what?
Kill his whole gang, that's a giant slide.
It's when he goes giant slide and then the freaking bass keys come in like doom. So far, this album is amazing. I don't know if I can handle any more of this top class stuff.
Black work.
I like the sound of this one.
Slums are the ones with the force. Drunk in the Porsche, trunk full of corpse. Done with the torch. Son was the...
Yeah, this is instantly going to the playlist. I just like the production of that one. That one really sounds like... There's something about that production which I'm going to explain why it's so pleasing to my ears.
Does in them North, plugged in New York, plugged on the coast, does in them storks, tub full of dope, road, they know I'm a thug till I cross, how we come, overlord status, I be slumming, drinks, thick links, only good for Cubans, think I'm Big Meech, I been breaking, now I need that Cuban with the big sink, I been street with this shit leak, my son trying to fill my shoes, but daddy got some big feet, overlord when my shooters get the done, you know my crew ain't missing nothing. Over the bloopers and the pumpkins, niggas know.
I love that random woo that's come in the production.
Pilot when I buy losers. Look, mama, no hands. Look, homie, you can't stop me. Looking with the wop, burning up, they'll almost swap me. You know who the ops was, ain't nobody shot me. But I shoot homie, let me hold that. I ain't never shoot a gold traded for a deuce 5 and a sidekick slide.
Really love. That's an instant favorite for me. Not to say that Giant Slide or Carruth haven't been instant favorites. They've been instant favorites as well, but that one is like a favorite for me, simply because there's something about that like it sounds so trippy. It really sounds so trippy. I love ethereal beats, I love trippy beats, I love beats that sound like they're for the nighttime but also sound like they're for the daytime. Like you can play that track for me isn't just a nighttime vibe. It's a morning vibe as well. Not early morning, but it's like daytime vibe and nighttime vibe. A little bit of a chase to it. There's something about that Surf and Tough production. I just love what The Alchemist was capturing there. The picture that he was capturing for me was that individual that is on the go, is on the move, that individual that is just constant. There's no stop. They just keep going, and that's why it feels like that track fits in the nighttime and the daytime, because an individual that's just constant and keeps going, they up and they're working and they're hustling in the morning and the night. And Vince Staples, there's a way that Vince Staples raps which is like playful but thuggish, and I appreciate it. It fitted very well with this production.
Run that nigga down, trying to run me up 100, had to dumb it down. Ran into my ex and now she giving me the run around. Got your 7 for 10. I've been running all my life.
Detroit neighborhoods at a very high rate of speed. Eventually did.
Do you know what run-in sounds like to me? That run-in. It sounds to me like you know, like when you're watching Formula One and the speed of the cars is so much that when it drives past, like the camera or whatever's filming, it sounds like zoom. That's what running sounds a bit. It sounds like zoom. But besides that, I like run-ins. I do. I feel like it does continue that kind of constant hustle that Surf and Tough to me introduced. Oh, do you know what that started like? It started off to me like what track started off like that? I think it was in What Was She Gonna Do? Yes, Mate Store. I don't know why it reminded me of that for a second. I think it's, I don't know, my brain is weird.
You let her smuggle blow. Soon as the pack landed, I let a couple go. Michigan back to New York.
Oh, so they finishing each other off. That's what this is.
The 94 duck in the state patrol.
I had to move safe and low, especially cause my face was known.
Free all my hitters in the club. Wish that I can break him out. Stood up and he made us proud. Told him when I make it out, we ain't gonna have to risk our life no more. I found the safer route. I just shot a kite a trial. They say I got a morbid sense of humor, but that made me smile. Shout out to my shooter, sure you double counted. Give a fuck how long it take to count.
I channel my thoughts, dope on my scale, hand on my fork. We hustlers, prices double up when it land in New York. Y'all do it just to get famous. The plug hit me back and I've been destined for greatness.
Run the trade the
bold to the day you make your home.
Scrape the Bold was that ultimate underground gutterish track. I wasn't surprised to hear it and then know that Benny was the feature, because Benny does so great on tracks like those. Scrape the Bowl really did sound like you was scraping the bowl, like you was looking around for some scraps because life was that tough.
7, skid it. Ran up a check on the outskirts, stacks all of my infos. On the East 24 kid, Cuddy throwing up big falls. All the outs balling on the budget, fucking I'ma get them bricks off. In the kitchen with the alchemists, cooking up I'ma mix mud. Juicy, niggas know it's been a drill. Niggas whipping rubber tussin', mixing it with Benadryl. Get a brick of blood, cut it. Down I was 10 toes. On the 8 with my bloodline, was nutty throwing big balls. On the East 24 kid, Cuddy throwing up big falls. Running out the faucet, finna make it through the bullfrog. She could take or it could fall. I could press play, I could push pause with that mini Drake and that bulldog. Traffic in the trash.
I really like the production of Pinto. Pinto again really sounds like the sunrise. It sounds like that kind of sunrise hustle. It's just perfect for me. I love that production. I like how The Alchemist has captured it in a few different ways within this album. So it's that production for me was great. I feel like what I liked the most about that track was definitely the sunrise kind of hustle production that we got from The Alchemist. And then Boldy's flow is a bit more like, I can't explain it. There was more of a drive to it, so it picked up some pace a little bit, which is what I enjoyed as well. I like to see him switch up his flow a bit, speed it up a little bit. If I was to rank like tracks I'm listening to the most, it wouldn't be at the top. But it doesn't mean that it still isn't solid and didn't fit well into the album. It fit well into the album. Still a solid track. Listening wise though, it's just not, I'm not listening to it as much as I'm listening to other ones. This is stupid. This production is stupid.
Either you trap or you farmhouse. Choppers with straps on the arm stock. Slide with Glocks in the armrest. Got some get back, we ain't ducking back. We was back and forth down the KY running with them Wildcats. Met my young dog up at Mount Jacks, took it off the loud pack. Bitch, I just made another chicken plate. Don't let that money go to your head, cause the money change hands anyway. In the feds on his death bubbles. Louis belt with the gold buckle. Mr. Michael Mary with the stone jungle. What else? Slow roll.
Wow.
Slow roll.
Yeah, there's something very haunting and dreary about that production. It's like that production that you play in a blacked out like truck. You're not playing that in a small car. That's a big car and it's cutting through the city and it's blacked out tinted windows. Nobody's seeing what's happening inside. But that car is dominating the roads, making its presence known, even though it's a blacked out car and there's something secretive about it. Still letting you know it's there. That's this track right here.
Kim, OJ, G.I. back to that one way. Diamond in the rough, just a lump of coal. Snipe a nigga's soul. Little Joseph, he up the pole. Wipe a nigga nose. Whose control is moving too slow. Give it to Taj, he gon' move it whole. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. Plug to his nose every time.
Super froze. Coop ain't got no roof for dough. My uncle and his partner test my dough. He got a stupid nose. With some black stones, solid phones, I'm checked in. Just in. Big bunny, baby, John Dollar. I remember when I seen a rapper do a spot for 1-800.
For me, Snort was, or SNORT, was a really good track for Freddie. It had that kind of aggressive gutturishness to it, because we do have like different types of gutter when it comes to production. It's like you can have that smooth gutter, that elegant gutter. This one was like that boom, pow, in your face, aggressive gutterish production. It wasn't chilling. It was definitely on the attack. Perfect for Freddie, because Freddie has such an aggressive style sometimes, and it was good to see Boldy kind of tackle such kind of track as well. Like, there's a tone to Boldy's voice that is, even though he sounds nonchalant, he also has this kind of the kind of like sickening tone that's in his voice a little bit. It's brought out more by this track, so I like that a lot. I like just really how disgusting it was.
Blockway, where we at with it? Still the same kind of creature, little Boldy car. I keep it funky with my focus, hunting with my poachers, slumping with the vultures, stolen stick like a mo controller, quick to shoot to the K like I'm Colin, chip on my shoulder, scraping so moody and shifty, trying to play me close. I saw some blueies for the Griffey, quarter 8 at Kroger's. When Noonie found out he got killed up for Grey October.
So what's your position?
I believe in God. You believe in God?
All my players when I hit the streets, but everything forfeit. Rising from the scorched earth, I roll it up and torch on my checklist. Put the flowers on the ground and then it's breakfast. Things to do, all within a day's time.
I really like the sound of Grey October. It sounds like you're kind of riding out. Like, it sounds like really conclusive. It felt like that could have been at the end of the album. Very nostalgic. So to me, it feels like that riding out track, like at the end of, you know, Fast and Furious 7, where it's just like, this is it, that's the end of the journey.
Now these niggas killers, they some late bloomers. Know they wish they caught it with me way soon. Pussy ass nigga, we open up spots out of vacants. Made a ball in the pack, kept it sacred. Now every other day the trap getting raided. Little dog ass bitch let her strip naked. Shit I don't even entertain. All the money and the fame got me jaded. To the most high due to all praises. No.
Mustard was a great track for me. I liked Mustard. There was a bar in there that I found amusing. No flesh wounds, this isn't graze or something like that. I just like the quick bars he was giving there over quite a slow and dreary beat.
Still broken. Heard he told on his plug. CO left his cell open. Might go out in the blaze of glory, still ain't no seal on it. Brody still a make a fake brick and put the smell on it. Traffic in the bag, ain't got no paper trail on it. $1 million in cash, would you kill for it? Do it. This murder music with Ali, he co-wrote and produced it. Coke in the microwave. I showboat when I nuke it. Snakes on the smoking on the Cuban. Dope sweet as a Susie Q, I got the smokers poofing. No excuses, so my behavior was broken, stupid. Contributing, doing the devil's work on my this lost brother, murder one. All the pain, I done felt it. H, I done scaled it. The cane, I done dealt it.
Demon Freestyle, for me, it has a kind of cypher sound to it. It does really sound like a freestyle, and I think it's the fact that we have that like boom, doom, boom, doom. It's a quite bare bone beat, which is what we like as typical of like ciphers and freestyles. And we just have Boldy. He's an, I don't know, it felt like a freestyle to me. So if that is a genuine freestyle, then that's sick, because what Boldy was doing on the spot was great.
Tell you, baby, this shit hurt. I'm only human, baby.
Ooh.
Or am I?
He said this stuff hurts, and then it sounds like someone's like woefully singing in the background. I go, ooh. It sounds like someone's crying. This sounds like pain.
Trying to tell you, baby, this shit hurt. Or am I? Lost slick, lost tune, that's a double pain. Glass blocks in them vision room, I'ma start the hood, love this. Draco and Bean say let's take off on this money train. Icy up, pull up and cash your whole bag. We talked to Keefy trying to meet me, whoop up, nigga chill. Feds put that plea deal on the table and he took the 12. This mafia shit so for real, I can't stress it enough. It's good praying that my cup don't spill. In the hood with them body snatchers catching cold kids. Some people can't believe getting 34, they call me Bo Sanders. If you done saw what I ain't seen, to make your eyes bleed. Or see me up, rather see me in cook.
I really like Phone Bill. Phone Bill had like this kind of pain in its production that was really, really like exposing and raw, but it still felt very wholesome. It felt, definitely drew the album to a close. So I really, really did like Phone Bill's production, and of course, again, Boldy's flow was great. I genuinely feel like this is such a great album. Like, this is, from tracks 1 to 12, I feel like it's such a great album. There's some tracks, of course, I'm listening to more than others. Like, I think probably the 2 tracks that I'd listen to the least are Pinto and Mustard, probably. Yeah, those ones I think I listen to the least, just out of preference. What's my overarching statement for this album? Well, the price of tea in China, to me, really displays Boldy's skill. You know, the Versace tape was the perfect debut, the perfect like entrance, showing a bit of what he can do and leaving room for thought, leaving room for people to think, this guy, I can see more for this guy. But then the price of tea in China, you're getting that diversity, that you're getting that skill set from Boldy. Him tackling different vibes, the morning hustle vibe, the gutterish vibe, the nostalgic vibe. He captured a lot of vibes here, and his flow, he was able to change it up a little bit each time to match each vibe perfectly. So this for me is the perfect album in terms of showing Boldy's skill set. My criteria, what will I say? Did this album make creative sense? Yes, it did. When the producer's The Alchemist, of course it bloody will. It made a lot of creative sense because The Alchemist is a great creative. He is a great producer. He captures scenes. He creates imagery so well in his production. And Boldy always perfectly kind of matches the scenes that's created in production. Especially, for example, Phone Bill. That production felt like pain, and Boldy brought that perfectly. How many boom tracks were there? Again, as I said, there's 2 tracks I'm not listening to as much as the others, but everything else I'm listening to. So that's 10 tracks. 10 tracks, that's a lot of tracks to me. That's more than enough. So it's ticked boom tracks as well. And then in terms of Did He Take Me on a Journey? Well, again, Carruth kind of really sounded very serious. It started with like this kind of expose to Boldy's mind. It was very anecdotal, but then we ended with Pain from Phone Bill. So to me, I feel like that went, it was perfect. It went full circle, because it's like you're starting serious and you're ending serious as well. So to me, that made a lot of sense. I feel like the journey in this album throughout, so I got a lot of daytime morning hustle. I got that a lot more than I got the gutterish, dark, aggressive production. So in terms of what I'm used to seeing from the Griselda scene, the production of this album was a little different, but I loved it. I love that daytime kind of hustle vibe that we got. Barely any hooks in this album. I'm just deeping that. I'm just coming to the realization that there's barely any hooks, but that's fine. It's just straight rap. So basically, going back to Did It Take Me on a Journey, I feel like it did, because it was mainly like that morning time hustle with elements or moments, I should say, of that dark gutterish. But it took me through different stages of the morning. That's what I felt like. Different stages of the morning hustle. and it just felt really constant throughout. Felt like there was a drive throughout, a hunger throughout. So the journey in this album was brilliant. Therefore, it's ticked my criteria, all 3 of them. What am I gonna rate this album? I rated the Versace tape pretty highly. I think I rated it an 8. But for this album right here, this is gonna get a 9 for me. It really is gonna get a 9 for me. But yeah, guys, that is my reaction and review to the Boldy James The Price of Tea in China tape. The Price of Tea in China tape. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys all next time.